It's a Christmas miracle. The BATREP is finally here, and this is the little introduction to explain what you're about to see. There's been a lot of effort, a lot of skill, a lot of time that's been put into this, all thanks to Woodim, the editor of this video. He's done an absolutely amazing job. So what you're about to see is something called the 118th Horus Heresy game. This was made by a gaming club, and the founders are Brian Jenkins, a chap called King Fluff, and another called Adam Pullman. Now they've come together and they've made this, and it's all down to these little figures. Joytoy, they've made it so you can take one of these, that's all you require, one of these models, and you basically get like a stat sheet then for your model, and you go into the game commanding this one model. It has like different wound markers, the head, the arms and stuff like that. You can get certain traits, certain skills depending on what weapons you take. It's absolutely amazing. They invited me down, I got to play with them, and it was absolutely bloody fantastic. They're actually being sponsored by a website called LTCAVE, where you can actually get Joytoy models now at a greater discounted price, just in case you want to jump in and play this for yourself. Now I know there's going to be a bunch of questions about this game, and this is where it's your chance now to ask them. Put it in the comment section. I would advise you, in the description of this video, go and join their Facebook page. It's open right now, and they will answer all the questions that you have. This is going to be something hopefully massive, and it's going to be something that will grip you and entice you to keep playing with your friends in the future. Again, massive thanks to everyone who made this game, who invited me down, and hopefully you enjoy this BATREP. The Imperial Fist Squad, known as Obsidian Wall, has breached the traitor ship belonging to the Sons of Horus. Their objective is to do as much damage and destruction as possible and evac out. These 5 Imperial Fists have made an oath that they will either live or die in the name of the Emperor and Rogel Dawn. Hearing the breach, 2 legionnaires belonging to the Sons of Horus lay a trap and wait for their unsuspecting victims. Brother Dacarius, who elected himself as lead scout, jumps across the opening, rushing past. Both traitor legionnaires see him and open fire, and by the grace of Rogel Dawn, every shot of theirs misses. With shots flying about, the traitor command is well aware of the enemy presence pushing towards them and send out a call for reinforcements. More Sons of Horus jump to their battle stations, ready to repel the Sons of Dawn, who continue their push. But before the traitors can reinforce, Valrak, the most stalwart, the most bravest of all the Sons of Dawn, bravely rolls a charge to move himself forward into the room, to draw the enemy fire so his brothers can flank and take out the rest of the vile traitor forces. One of the traitor legionnaires quickly reacts and fires his bolter towards Valrak's head, but Valrak's face is his shield, and he only suffers a minor wound to his thick skull. Brother Dacarius, having already passed the opening, decides to take the long route to set up a flanking maneuver. This way, he can unleash his fury upon any traitors that steps in front of him. The Imperial Fist use their Vox operator rule to give Valrak a second activation, which he uses to charge even further into the enemy legionnaires who are yet to activate. With a might of the swing of his power sword, he strikes a devastating blow to the head of the traitor marine, but is unable to take the traitorous scum down completely. But the enemy also use their Vox tactic, and the second traitor legionnaire in the room is reactivated, who slips behind Valrak to thrust it into Valrak's back. But he deflects it with his pauldron. Now surrounded, he sees from the corner of his eye the enemy commander immediately fires his plasma pistol, but is unable to penetrate Valrak's armor. With Valrak fully surrounded, the rest of his squad moves up the halls, and they in unison unload into the traitor legionnaires, landing many hits but only able to minorly wound. Brother Dacarius finally decides to help, finishing his flanking maneuver, storming around the corner, firing his bolter. However, despite near point blank range, he does no damage. With the start of the next turn, the Imperial Fist veteran sergeant opens up to fire again onto the enemy, but the traitor refuses to die. The Sons of Horus get the next activation, and their commander uses it to storm down the center of the room, jump onto a pile of supply crates, and fire a second plasma blast directly into Valrak's head. But his skull is just too thick, and somehow manages to deflect the plasma shot harmlessly away. As if 3 wasn't enough, a 4th traitor marine then advances, firing his bolter into the already surrounded Valrak, leaving him critically wounded and barely standing. Sensing the urgency of the situation, a member of the Imperial Fist squad rushes forward, ramming his chain lance straight into the traitor marine, but is unable to get through the traitorous armor. Having finally had enough, the enemy commander reactivates and decides to finish things. He activates his power sword and cuts down Valrak, jumping down from the crates, preparing to attack the nearest Imperial Fist. Enraged at the sight of the hero Valrak falling in battle, Dacarius unloads his bolter into the traitor marines in front of him, this time actually managing to injure and slay his target. The Imperial Fist Vox operator, who still is at the entrance of the ship's breach, reactivates Dacarius once again to open fire on the second Sons of Horus Marine, but is unable to cause any real damage. The Sons of Horus commander, who calls himself Little Brian, now challenges the next Imperial Fist Marine to a 1v1 in what turned out to be the most number of successful armor saves I've ever seen in a round of combat. After over 10 minutes of hacking each other to bits, the commander stands victorious and the banner of Dawn falls to the ground. Dacarius, having now seen the glorious Valrak slain and the banner of Dawn fall to the ground, is filled with nothing but rage and abandons his ineffective strategy of shooting and charges straight into the combat to regain the honor of the chapter. He is immediately struck down and killed. Seeing his brothers die around him, the veteran sergeant assaults the enemy commander in a final blaze of glory, exchanging blow after blow and ultimately slaying the enemy commander. And that concludes our 5-turn preview into the 1/18th scale Horus Heresy campaign game. Some will say, did the Imperial Fist loot? Did the Sons of Horus win? Truly, we will never know. The only thing that we do know is this is where the legend of Valrak is born. His story, his name will be passed down through the ages of the Imperium as a glowing hero of glorious blaze that will never be surpassed.